Welcome to Watch Yanqing Node News. All right, today we're doing a full technical teardown on an absolute beast in the private market, Grata. This is the AI engine that's quietly powering billion-dollar deals. And you know what that means. We're going to pop the hood and see what makes this thing tick. Let's get into it.
Okay, I'm going to start with a claim that might sound a little crazy. We are looking at an AI that is hands down better than ChatGPT. And I know what you're thinking. Better at what? Writing a Shakespearean sonnet for my cat? No, not exactly.
It's better at finding billion-dollar deals. See, while all those general-purpose AIs are off learning about cat memes and sourdough recipes, Grata is laser-focused on one thing, the high-stakes world of M&A. It really is the difference between a Swiss Army knife and a surgeon's scalpel.
And don't think for a second this is some small boutique setup. We're talking about an AI that's tracking over 19 million private companies. Yeah, this is industrial-scale intelligence, built to sift through all the noise of the commercial internet and pull out pure, solid gold. So what's the deal with Grata, really? Well, at its core, it's an AI-native intelligence engine built just for the private market. The easiest way to think about it, it's like a search engine for all the companies that don't have a stock ticker. And yeah, it's so good at its job that the M&A giant Datasite just snapped them right up.
So who's actually using this machine? Oh, just a casual list of the absolute heaviest hitters in global finance. We're talking private equity titans like Insight Partners and the Carlyle Group, huge investment banks like Deutsche Bank, and get this, 9 out of the top 10 consulting firms. These are not people who mess around. They literally can't afford to be wrong. Okay, now for the fun part. Let's get our hands dirty. We're going to pop the hood on this M&A machine and really see what makes it tick. What's the code that's actually powering these billion-dollar decisions?
All right, looking at the core tech stack, it's solid. Pretty much what you'd expect, right? You've got a classic Python/Django backend doing all the heavy lifting, a slick React frontend with PostgreSQL holding down the fort as the database. But the real secret sauce, the magic, starts to happen with Elasticsearch. That's what's powering the NLP-based search. And of course, it's all living on AWS with Jenkins and Argo CD handling the CI/CD plumbing. It's a classic setup, but man is it effective.
And this slide right here, this is where Grata builds its real technical mode. Their AI isn't trained on the general internet. No, it's trained on what they call the commercial internet. We're talking 1.2 billion web pages that are all business, all the time. This thing has no idea about your vacation photos or what you had for dinner. It's optimized for one thing and one thing only, understanding the complex language of business models, deals, and financials at an investment-grade level.
But you knew there was a but coming, right? No system is perfect. Even an engine this powerful has its limits. It has potential points of failure. And this is where, as engineers, we start to get that little twitch. We start looking for the cracks in the code. Where are the real stress points?
And that really is the multi-million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, think about it. You're scraping the entire commercial web, you're dealing with incredibly messy real-world data, and you're trying to serve it all up to some of the most demanding clients on the planet. Can a system that complex actually scale perfectly? The short answer, nope. The long answer, well, that's where things get interesting.
So here it is, the engineer's hit list. This is the stuff that I guarantee keeps the team at Grata up at night. First, you've got data quality. Just a nightmare of inconsistency from countless different sources. Then the classic scalability headache, that big old monolith just begging to be broken down into microservices. You've also got AI model drift. Keeping those models sharp is a constant battle. Oh, and the scraping arms race. That's a fun, endless war against anti-scraping tech. And to top it all off, the ever-looming specter of global compliance. These might be standard problems, but at this scale, they're monsters.
Okay, so enough complaining about the problems. If we were brought in to help, what would our plan be? Because it's easy to point out what's broken, right? The hard part is coming up with a fix. So let's lay out a clear, high-impact blueprint for taking this engine to the absolute next level. Here's the blueprint, broken down into 4 high-impact upgrades. Step 1,
we have to overhaul the data quality and governance, fix the foundation. Step 2, modernize the back end and that whole scraping fleet. Step 3, supercharge the AI and NLP models themselves. And finally, Step 4, implement real-time data streams across the board. Get everything moving at the speed of now. First on the list, data quality. You know the saying, garbage in, garbage out. It's the golden rule of AI. But instead of just throwing more bodies at the problem, hiring an army of analysts to stare at spreadsheets, the real upgrade is to implement multimodal, self-supervised data cleaning algorithms. Fancy words, but what it means is the system automatically finds and fixes its own mistakes. You're building a system that literally heals itself. Upgrade number 2, the back end and the scraping. This means it's time to face the music and deconstruct that big Django monolith into nice, clean, containerized microservices. While we're at it, we deploy a totally new kind of scraping fleet, an adaptive, AI-driven distributed crawler system that's smart enough to bypass pretty much any anti-scraping measures they can throw at it. All right, upgrade 3 is all about the AI and NLP models. It's time to supercharge the brain of the operation. We need to integrate active learning and real-time fine-tuning pipelines. Basically, the model needs to get smarter with every single query a user makes. No more waiting for quarterly updates. And we'd want to start developing specialized, multilingual models to really crack open those emerging global markets. And for the final upgrade, the capstone, we go real-time. This means we have to rip out all that slow, old-school batch processing and replace it with a modern streaming architecture. We're talking Kafka, Spark streaming, the whole shebang. The goal is dead simple. Slash the time it takes for data to get from the crawler to the user down to mere seconds. Because in the world of M&A, speed isn't just important, it's everything. So that 4-step plan we just walked through, that's solid modern engineering. That's best practice. But what if we want to get really crazy? What if we want to jump from best practice straight to next practice? Let's elevate this whole discussion and look at what's happening on the absolute bleeding edge of AI research right now. Check this out. Fresh research coming out of CVPR, that's a huge computer vision conference, is all about self-supervised learning. Now, this is a technique that was born to spot patterns in images, but they're now applying it to clean up messy, unstructured business data. Think about that. You can build insanely effective data quality models without needing a giant team of humans to label everything. For step 1 of our plan, that's an absolute game changer. And what about search? Well, papers from top NLP conferences like ACL are talking about something called generative retrieval. This is wild. Instead of just matching keywords in a document, the AI basically imagines what the perfect answer would look like first, and then it goes and finds the data to support that imagined answer. It's a massive leap forward in accuracy and context, and it's tailor-made for a system like Grata. And finally, let's talk about governance and compliance. Everyone's favorite topic. Brand new research into AI-era data intelligence governance is showing how we can use large models to automate the most tedious, painful parts of the job. We're talking about automatically managing metadata, monitoring for compliance. Basically, the AI starts to govern itself. How cool is that? So, look, the big takeaway here is that this isn't just some far-off theoretical stuff from academic papers. This is a real, tangible roadmap. By integrating these next practices from the world of research, a company like Grata could leapfrog all of its competition. They could basically automate their own upgrade plan and build a technology moat that's wider and deeper than ever before. And that brings us to one final, kind of provocative thought to leave you with. Right now, Grata is building an incredible AI to help human analysts do their job better. But as these specialized AI agents get smarter, more autonomous, as they become capable of not just finding data but actually synthesizing insights and recommending actions, you have to ask, will the next M&A analyst be human at all? Something to chew on.